ladies and gentlemen, she's here, she's open for business, and now you too can experience Australia's most iconic maxi-yacht, Brindabella. I had the chance to do this on their first cruise open to the public the other day, and it was a memorable experience, I got to say. Go to brindabellasailing.com.au if you want to book on, and from there, whether you're doing it on your phone or your computer, find the links to their online shop. And I have to say, from there, it's a fairly painless experience. You're going to find some different options here, gift vouchers, merchandise, and what you're looking for is essentially booking a sail. 3 current options, but that's going to probably expand to many others in the not too distant future. Twilight cruises, $150. Full-day sailing adventures, that's $290. That's the next one I'm going to be doing. But I started off with the half-day sailing adventure, $220. It's the one I'm going to speak about tonight. All you need to do is follow the bouncing ball, book yourself on it, and then you're going to get an email that explains what you need to do prior to actually turning up on the day.
Okay, let go for it.
So, what can you expect if you book on to an adventure cruise on Brindabella? Well, the first thing is you're going to be met with a very friendly crew who are going to help you. They're going to give you a safety briefing, show you around the boat, and before you know it, you're going to be heading out of the marina. From there, on the Port River, they won't waste a lot of time. Up will go the mainsail, and shortly after that, you'll see the head sail gets unfurled as well, and then you'll be heading for the open sea past, I would imagine, a few rather envious mariners as you sail past them at a great rate of speed. Then you're either going to be going north or south. I would imagine it's normally due to the wind direction, because my understanding is for the most part they want to come back with the wind behind them at the end of the day and have the spinnaker up. So for us, and for most people, I would imagine it means going up into the wind initially, beating up wind, and that's in a southerly direction. And what I notice is very fast you come up on landmarks you're familiar with off in the distance. It takes me quite a while normally to pass the Largs jetty and the Semaphore jetty, but not on Brindabella. Before you know it, you'll see them in the distance. And also, if she's heading out to sea, you'll find yourself well out into the Gulf. It won't take long at all. I asked one of the crew, how far out are we? And they looked down, they said, yeah, it's nearly 10 nautical miles. So it just shows how fast this boat is. So this is part of the experience. The crew want to give you an experience for you to basically feel what it's like to be on a maxi yacht. You know, these very yachts you see in the Sydney to Hobart on television. What does it feel like? What does it feel like to be sitting on the yacht, moving along, sitting out on the rails if you so desire? And that was actually one of the things I was curious about.
I've always kind of wondered on the edge of the boat how far off the water you are. It's a fair way. I reckon it's a good 3 or 4 meters. I wouldn't say it's going to be that comfortable though to be sitting on the edge of one of these for 3 days, but it is what it is, I guess.
I can also tell you that if you're right at the back, sometimes you'll even catch a glimpse of the weighted keel. And yeah, it's a really heavy keel. It's a really big boat with a lot of sail area, and it has to be heavy to offset that. It's basically going to also be heeled over a long way. It's meant to sail like that. It's something to be concerned about. The crew will explain this in the safety briefing. There is plenty of places to essentially hold on to, particularly in the boat, plenty of handholds, and it's 3 points of contact at all times. And the one thing you're not going to get an opportunity to do is to basically handle lines as if you were actually crewing on a boat. And that's a safety consideration because it's a big boat, big sails, lots of pressure on these winches, and yeah, if something was to go wrong and you're not used to how to use them, you're unfamiliar, then obviously there's a chance for injury, whereas the crew are used to handling them. And yeah, they'll just politely ask you sometimes that if they need a bit more space in the cockpit when they are doing their job, and what you will get an opportunity to do if the weather's right is under supervision, sometimes there's an opportunity to spend some time on the helm. And that's really interesting because it's probably not going to feel like you expect. She's a high performance yacht, balanced rudder, and even when she's heeled over, she's actually very light. It feels a little bit like a dinghy to me. Whereas my boat, 23 foot, doesn't have a balanced rudder. When it's heeled over, I feel it. And it feels heavier than this, massive 80-foot yacht. So that was really interesting, as was talking to the crew. They got such vast experience, difference of experiences, and even the people that you'll probably find on these voyages, they're not all going to be sailing enthusiasts. Some will, but they'll all probably have an interesting story to tell. One of the real pleasures, I think, is just having those conversations. After a few hours, depending on what cruise you're doing, you'll turn around. Hopefully there'll be a nice tailwind, and up will go the spinnaker. And the idea is to sail back with the spinnaker up for a fair bit of the journey.
There she goes.
Put the music back on now. What's the music on for?
It might also be the time when they might bring out some refreshments. For us, it was canapes. I think, again, it's going to depend on the voyage as to what is on offer.
Thank you.
Some light refreshments, perhaps a drink. And, I have to say they were really tasty snacks and canapes. A lot of thought's gone into that. When you get alongside at the end, there might be more of a chance for a debrief and a drink and a conversation. And it's just incredibly social. So who should go on these voyages? Well, anyone, really. Anyone who is physically able to do it, to get about the boat safely. Now, if you have any doubts, if you're not sure, maybe just send an email off to the staff and express any concerns, and they can give you some further advice. I do know that they'll try and accommodate you where they can. And, most people, they can be very young or, a little bit elderly. And at the same time, as long as they can get about the boat safely, it's an experience a lot of people can share in. So, tell a friend, tell a family member, bring a friend, bring a family member, spread the word. I highly recommend it. I'm already looking at booking in again for another cruise, so I recommend you do the same, and maybe I'll see you out there.